Vapidity, Season 1, Episode 7. Episode 7, The Speakers, by Brian Fredworm McGregor. The picture focuses out somewhat on a guy named Mitch, who lived alone now, albeit in his family's home by himself. Well, the family he once had. He thinks back to that day in the crematorium where his family moved over and on to a different plane, and whilst reminiscing over that day, he remembers saying with a tear in his eye, I had so much to tell you. Mitch's family perished a long time ago in a large traffic accident, whilst almost the whole family was on vacation, although Mitch, well, he survived. There is now a blurry picture of Mitch whilst he stands next to a sound system in a crematorium, which was playing his and their favourite song. This was a goodbye of sorts, as he said his last loving farewell. The picture now focuses back upon him slowly from a dreamlike state, with Mitch, who was an avid goer of garage sales, standing at yes, yet another one. Mitch is seen haggling with price over a large plastic clear box filled with what appears electronic goodies. He walks off to his car with a clear plastic box, then heads home. Mitch these days, and even back ages ago, would attend as many as he could in summer, although most of what he bought really needed what could be called fixed. He loved his films too, albeit mainly horrors or scary ones it could be said, and at that being his favourite, he spent many a night up fixing things whilst these videos played in the background. Mitch himself was a rather budding hobbyist or rather enthusiast of electronics, and he also worked part-time in a store repairing many such items also, albeit that they were simple repairs such as a resistor here or a capacitor there, things that an avid amateur could do rather quickly and easily. As mentioned, on that one occasion, he, Mitch, purchased a large clear plastic box of electronic goodies. As the seller put it, now once home Mitch could see that it wasn't quite as described, or better yet, at all. Mitch, well, he just chuckled to himself, and each night he went through the box looking for things to fix. Well, he was spoiled for choice to say the least. He would simply sigh, and lo and behold, sigh again as he picked item out after item, which were, how could I say, wonky. Yeah, they were all wonky as in wonky. Now to say Mitch had a few things to fix was a gross understatement. However, he plodded on pretty much regardless. At the bottom of this box, there was a large set of speakers, which, yes, yet again, were wonky. He just sighed, then set about checking them. Now Mitch knew not that much can go wrong with speakers, but wait for it, they really were wonky. Now Mitch reckoned they'd just been dropped and they both had dry joints, so to speak, which meant they would have distorted sound or would crackle, and badly at that, which is what they did, exactly. Either way, Mitch was quite a humble guy, so he plonked them next to his TV and wired them up, hoping for some sound at least out of one of them. He already had a film playing, and yes, a horror, whilst fixing another item as this recording played in the background. He thought to himself, crikey, these speakers really sound amazing, before then adding, listen to how real the creatures in this film sound. Wow and wow, he added. Mitch led a kind of quietish life, simply electronics and horrors, and that was about it. At this point he straightened up his nice speakers, which seemed came from a crematorium of all places, and were used to play music for the deceased families, judging by the stickers on the back of the speakers, which often have safety check information and other useful things, just stuck in the back, you know. And so Mitch got back to his hobbying in his living room, whilst movie after movie played over and over on his video player. Mitch only had a few components to replace, and that was it. I mean, it was 3 o'clock in the morning, to be honest, and he was tired, whilst not forgetting he had work a little later at 9, which was in about 6 hours roughly. In any case, on this one particular morning, his film, a new one, he just bought, had particularly good effects, especially mixed performers, various in type. At that point, Mitch goes over to switch off the television, even with one of the horror films playing away, albeit with what looked like extras or additional floor room cuttings, so to speak. The screen was black, and the performers were talking away, before abruptly stopping, at which point Mitch starts listening. Suddenly one of the voices, which appears to be female, says, "Mitch, Mitch, Mitch." Mitch, well, he turns to the speakers and the voice is still calling out his name. At this point, Mitch looks around, confused and a little sheepish, to be honest, thinking somewhat for a few brief seconds, realising it's just a film before then turning away, where then the voice says his name once more, and a little softer. "Mitch," this woman calls out, and once again. Mitch now turns around rather sharply this time and gazes somewhat at the screen, then the speakers. Mitch now says, who are you? Who? "We are the speakers," is said, which comes from within the speakers. Mitch is not amused before the nanny. "Oh, I know that. Did Albert from customer service put you up to this? Because if he did, I tell you something for free. I tell you what, when I see him, he's going to get it." The voice adds, "He, Albert, never sent us. We are here to tell you something." "Tell me about yourself," says this shadowy voice from within the speakers. Well, as Mitch goes on, smiling rather awkwardly. "I'm a single guy who lives alone, and whilst I have no family truly left as such, I do have hopes, wishes and dreams of starting one someday. Oh, and I work in electronics." There is now a large number of shadowy type, albeit human voices, talking to Mitch. He answers their questions about life, love and everything in between, and simply chats ever so gently with them, until Mitch then says, "You know, I wish I could tell my family how much I love them, and just hear from them once more." The voices from both speakers all chatter away, then suddenly say in unison to Mitch, "You just did. Son, brother, uncle, nephew, you just did." Mitch, well, he weeps uncontrollably before then adding, "Thanks." The speakers now stop hissing with static, and the voices from within them also fade. The next day Mitch sells the speakers in the shop, knowing full well the speakers will go to another good home, and maybe, just maybe, someone else will hear from a loved one, or loved ones too. The end. A Brian Fred Warren McGregor production.